Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Core Quest. Today, we're diving into a transformative topic, uncovering your purpose and discovering what truly drives you. I'm going to show you how to reconnect with your purpose, with your core values, assess whether your actions align with them, and craft a simple, objective, effective purpose statement that guides you moving forward. I've seen the power of aligning purpose with your actions for real success and lasting fulfillment over and over again, working with so many people, so many business leaders that have done exactly that and that have achieved success and fulfillment by aligning their purpose to their actions. I'll be sharing some concepts and some valuable concepts. And right after that, we'll have the Q&A. I hope we have lots of questions. So we have an interactive and dynamic session today. Why are most people not really connected to purpose and values? There's a number of reasons. I keep hearing these reasons over and over, running around from one obligation to another. Some people refer to this as a rat race. I'm not entirely happy with this term, even because I was part of this process myself. Also, just reacting, not effective sense of personal growth. We are trapped in this. Another way to put it is being on everybody else's agenda, moving from one thing to another, and we focus on what our society, our culture, our media values, and we sometimes make it our own. Psychology refers to some underlying lack of self-worth. I much rather consider that you all do have the power within to actually reconnect and get back that control to lead a life driven by purpose, by meaningful purpose and dreams. Finally, I think the most, and I keep hearing this, the most relevant reason is that we kind of are running an autopilot with what we feel is the suggested and imposed way of behaving and the way of acting and living our lives. But anyway, the real question is, why does this all matter? Why are we even considering this? Well, 75% of professionals feel unfulfilled. This is statistics, this is data, and the reason for this is we act according to what we feel is suggested and imposed, and usually that leads to an increasing curve of success. Our success increases as time goes by. But because we're not linked and connected to purpose and values, what happens is that our fulfillment sometimes tends to decrease. And that leads to dissatisfaction, loss of motivation to pursue goals, and burnout. So eventually, at least in some situations, you will be able to be successful, even if you're not truly doing what you are meant to be doing. But in the long run, you have one or two situations. Either you actually have to, just step back, or eventually burn out, or you may proceed your path to success, but actually not getting the joy and happiness of doing that. Why am I talking about these things, and why am I so effective in supporting and helping other people, other business leaders in achieving success and fulfillment. Well, I am a founder myself. I've created businesses for myself and for others. At some point, some years ago, I was doing six figures. I was the CEO of my own company, and but I had to learn. But I learned the hard way that success does not necessarily equal fulfillment. And it was an insight because of the way I was feeling, and from the outside and from the looks of it, I was actually achieving professional success and social success, but deep inside I wasn't feeling that. And I've learned that the main reason for that, it was because I was missing out on a number of things that are really, really important to me, and those things are really part of my core values and a significant part of my purpose. As a coach, I've helped a number of people um, to do exactly that. And I know for a fact, from my own experience and from others, that living by purpose is crucial. So, how do we align with purpose? So, how do we go from doing somebody else or something else to doing you? I love this gentleman because one might say it looks silly, right, with his red tie and the red cape, but but it doesn't feel silly because he's doing himself. And I think it's a really interesting image of how, when you are doing your thing, you are empowered to, just beyond the social judgment, and really focused on what you want to really achieve. And that's what we're looking at. So how do we do that? Well, we take action. And I have three specific actions. I'm going to run you through them. And by the end of it, you'll be able to identify your core values, understand where you're at with your core values right now, and have your purpose statement written and crafted for you. Core values, some key ideas. They're part of us, our principles. They represent, they're unique. We may have we have a different blend of core values, each one of us. But even if we have the same common main core values, and actually we tend to have similar core values if we live in the same culture, but we have a unique blend. Every one of us is a unique blend of different individual principles. They highlight what we stand for. So they're some sort of internal beacon for ourselves. And they obviously influence our thoughts, our actions, and our states. On the flip side of this, if we bury them and we pay no attention, we may not be able to constantly understand what's going on, but we will feel it in our maybe in our hearts, in our guts, in our minds, in our spirit, that we're not aligned with them. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's identify our core values. A couple of guidelines to this. It's easy to speculate and idealize what you should value. Again, that interference from the outside, and we want to just be aware of that. A requirement: self-honesty, patience, and determination. We're going to do this right now. I'm going to do this with you, but of course, you may want to go back to this at some other time, because it's not going to be a final thing. So you sometimes you don't get it the first time, so you need to go over it again. Let go. So no preconceived ideas, no judgment, either from others. By the way, this is just for yourself, but even from yourself. So get a pen and a paper, take a deep breath, empty your mind, and let's do this. I'm going to give you some time to get your paper and your pen, And while you do that, let's start thinking about 3 relevant areas of your life. And then we're going to select one. The reason why we're doing this is right now we're just going to do this once, but it's an interesting exercise. If you do this for 3 relevant areas of your life. So let's say you choose, it's just an example, career, family, and health. So now you select one. Let's say you choose career. And then we're going to create your list of personal values. I'm going to do 3 things. So whenever you're ready, you can start considering a meaningful moment. By this, I mean a peak experience that stands out in your experience related to the specific area that you just selected. Right. If you need more time, you'll get the replay so you can play and replay this recording. What was happening in that specific peak moment, peak experience that you chose? What was happening and what were you feeling? So facts and emotions, what was going on? You might want to remember the weather conditions, who was present, what you said, what you didn't say, what other people said or did, and write it all down. What values were you honoring at this time, in this moment? Okay, this is number 1. Don't worry, you'll get all these, all this guideline, these guidelines. You'll receive them just for being in this roundtable. Now, number 2, consider a time when you got angry, frustrated, or upset somehow. And again, what was going on? What were you feeling? Consider the space around you. Or is it indoors, outdoors? Who was present? How many people were there? Who were they? What were people doing? What were people saying? What role did you play in the situation? And very important, what emotions were present? So for that situation, what values were being suppressed? What was lacking? What were you missing? Okay. Finally, 3, beyond the basic human needs. This is what we call code of conduct. Beyond the basic human needs, what must be happening in that specific area of your life for you to experience fulfillment? The area that you chose, what's the beyond the basic human needs? What must be happening for you to feel fulfilled? And still related to the code of conduct, to that specific area. What are the personal values that you must honor, that you must act by in order, or if you don't, you suffer? Okay. Again, you might want to take your time. So now you know how to do this. You're gonna have the recording, and you can replay it. You might want to take some more time to do this. I'm also going to share with you some a list of core values as an inspiration. You don't necessarily need to use this, but this could be for to help you to just write your own list. So now you're gonna, after that exercise, so you're going to create a list of personal values, and now you're going to relate. You're going to group related personal values. So of the list that you have, try to relate them in not more than 3 or 4 groups. And then highlight the central theme of each value group. You could use the name of one of the sorry, you could actually use one of the values in that group or use a different word. And then you determine your top personal core values. And for reflection, what values are essential to your life? What values represent your primary way of being? What values are essential to supporting your inner self? I'm conscious of time, so this is action 1. And by completing this, which is something that you can do by yourself, you may have your list of core values. The action number 2 is, now that you have your list of core values, assess yourself in the sense of how have you been acting according to your values, and what happens if you don't. How does that make you feel? What happens when you do, and how does that make you feel? In what ways can you consider to act to better align values with behaviors? And to support with this reflection, you can also fill a table like this. A list of values. Assess yourself on how have you been acting according to each one of those, and a specific action to increase the score if that should be the case. Okay, this is action 2. And so by completing action 1 and action 2, you will have your list of core values, and you will understand in this moment how do you assess yourself, how do you see yourself according to those specific values. And finally, in the session, purpose statement. Just some quick concepts around purpose statement. It's very simple to understand. It's the one thing that drives you. I love this. I hope you do have the opportunity to just watch some 7 minutes video about the story of Amy Purdy, and it's really, really inspiring. And the most relevant thing is that you'll be able to, just look at your story as if it was a book, and if you were the author, how would you like your story to go? Okay, so your purpose statement defines who you are. It reflects your passions and values. It provides clarity as you set goals, and it steers how you want your story to go. Another way to look at this is it answers the question, why? So before you craft your purpose statement, a couple of guidelines. So the guidelines to craft your purpose statement. Well, avoid over-analyzing. This is a simple exercise. We don't want to make this too complicated. So let's not overthink, and let's avoid some corrections. Requirements, 1 or 2 sentences. So it should be short like this, 1, 2 sentences, the most specific and clear, and obviously aligned with your core values. Choose words that reflect positive action. So we don't use don'ts or no's, we use positive words, and we use the present tense. Let's look at some examples. So to kind of help you with this, how you can brainstorm around, how do I want to make a difference in the world? How do I want to be remembered? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? And to compose your first draft, include who am I? What do I do? Who do I do it for? What do they want or need? So the ones who I do it for. And by the way, you can do it for yourself. It's perfectly fine. Or it can include you, or it can even be to yourself. How are they changed? How are the other people, and myself included, changed by my purpose? And then finally, you revise your statement. The examples, there's a few with different kind of focus. I serve others as a visionary leader and apply ethical principles in management to make a significant difference in the world. Someone who focuses on their impact through their work and on the world. My purpose is to build a bridge of understanding and be a tower of integrity to others as a parent, a partner, and a member of my community. As you see, these are really truly inspiring. So the 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 challenge and the goal is to use just 1 or 2 sentences, short, but include all those elements and make sure that it's truly inspiring. I love my children unconditionally, and I demonstrate that love to them every day in my words and actions. Someone who is really focused on their children. There's no right or wrong. You don't have to focus the whole world. You can focus your community, your family, or even yourself. So there's really no right or wrong way to go about the purpose. It should be an exercise of self-honesty, and you should find something that really, really drives you. I prepare youth to be leaders and adults to be mentors and role models. And finally, this is my own purpose that I also presenting as an example. I commit to daily become a better version of myself for 2 reasons: for my family to feel loved and supported, and to make a positive impact on people and the world. So you have by now identified your core values. You have by now uh, understand where you are with your core values and crafted your purpose statement. So it's time to do what you're doing now, or align goals with your purpose for true success and lasting fulfillment. This exercise of the core quest, what we've been discussing today, is a part of a broader framework. And by uncovering your purpose and creating and understanding your core values, you're creating a roadmap for every decision you make, and to make sure that your goals and actions align with what truly matters to you. This is the foundation. This is the foundational step, part of the stage A, discover of your fulfillment, of my ABC success and fulfillment journey, which is, well, it's ABC because it's stage A, stage B, and stage C. And stage A, we get a clear perspective of oneself as a foundation to then, on top of that, we building goals that truly align with that with that purpose and those goals. Then we build with those goals and follow through. And finally, stage C is about celebrating your fulfillment, and we make sure that we take the time to pause and to truly appreciate our achievements and life's gifts, and to give back to keep the momentum. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, and this is a very important concept. We the ABC success and fulfillment journey, uh, the underlying concept is that you can have both. You can have success and fulfillment as long as you align your goals with purpose for true success and lasting fulfillment. And the result is that you can have that increasing success and also in parallel that increasing fulfillment. Right. Q&A. Time for some questions. Just to kind of start the conversation, two questions. Which do you think are the 3 top core values for you, and how aligned your actions have been with them? And another chorus of discussion can be, does your purpose drive your professional and personal goals? So drop your thoughts in the chat or reach out to me directly, and raise your little emoji hands up on the screen so that we can have that conversation. All right, people are being a little shy today, so to start the Q&A, we have questions that people have sent ahead of this webinar. Can I have different purposes for different areas of my life? The answer is yes, you can. Some the people that I've been working with, that I work with, sometimes they come to this point where they say, well, I have to kind of state different purposes for different areas because it's difficult to group them as just one. Ideally, you will have one, but it's possible to do it like this. And another thing that is that your purpose, your core values tend to not change a lot through your adult life. You tend to form your core values in your late teenage years as a young adult, and they tend to remain the same throughout life. The purpose is more changeable. It changes, and it's more it can be, at least for some people, kind of changes with as people go through life. Another question: in some situations, there seems to be friction between values. What to do? Indeed, that's also frequent. And if you probably, all of you have in your own experience something like this. When an example, it's easier with an example. Your family is really important. You loving and being supportive for your family is really important. And you have a situation in work that you are prompted to not tell the truth, but being truthful and honest and not lying is also a core value to you. So what do? Do you keep your job and your a good situation in your job, although you may have to just not be entirely honest about something, or but you can still support your family? Or do you put yourself in a situation where you might even losing your job, and in that situation you will put your family in a situation where you might not be able to support them? It's a very good question. It's not an easy, straightforward question, but what you really do is you have to choose. You have to make a decision, and it will come down in the end to what is most important and also more urgent. But it is an exercise, and it is a process. This is the sort of question that I'm very happy to answer in a free strategy call. I'm very happy to have a discovery conversation with you just for the fact that you registered for this roundtable. I'm opening my agenda to some discovery calls. It's as long as there's space in the agenda, it's fine, but it tends to fill up. So book your time with me if you want to align goals with purpose, for real meaningful success and lasting fulfillment. I can help you with a roadmap with all the stages, steps, and actions for your own personal, individual, mapped fulfillment journey. Right. Thank you for being with us, and I hope to see you on your individual session soon. Joyce, yeah, you're still there. Kind of ish. So, right.